Welcome to Mother's Haven, a podcast where mothers are challenged to try for more through access to help, hope, and a pathway to healing. Every mother goes through various phases and seasons where they daily navigate distress, discomfort, and wholesome experiences. I have personally walked the path of various pain points and experienced certain life changing situations in my own journey, which actually brings me here to offer you a hand to help, a voice of hope, and a pathway to healing. Each time you listen, a rush of liberation comes through because I'm here to validate your freedom and also to challenge you to be a mother and much more. Hello, welcome once again to Mother's Haven podcast. It's the podcast where mothers are challenged to become more than they are, more than their roles, and more than their daily to day activities. And today we have an amazing guest, someone with many hearts, a beautiful woman with a wonderful soul. I'll be giving her the honor to tell us about herself and everything she does and how she stays amazing as an awesome mom. So over to you, my mystery guest.
Hi everyone, my name is Fisayo. Fisayo Lawifo, and I am reside in the UK, and I've been married for going to 14 years now. I have a YouTube channel, Fisayo Lawifo is called, and I also have a cake business, Fizzy Cakes. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook. I also have other things I do on the side. So I do a bit of fruit arrangement, food pots, and recently I've started going into organic oils and creams for the scalp, for the skin, and for the hands. And I also have a job. So I work in a school. I work like an unqualified teacher or a teaching assistant, as some people might call it. I decided not to go fully into teaching for now, only because my children are still very young. And I thought this is the time they need me. So I have one more year to become a qualified teacher, but I've paused it just so I can concentrate on my family. I've got 3 children. I've got a girl, and I've also got 2 boys. So their age range is between is between 12 and 2. So that's me.
That's super amazing. You do a whole lot. It's actually quite admirable. For the sake of mothers listening, I would actually like you to tell us a bit about how you're able to cope doing all of these beautiful things that you do and still stay above overwhelmed, or how you're able to even manage it, staying happy, joyful, and still being a great mom at that.
Yeah, thank you very much. So firstly, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and I believe in the word of the Lord in the Bible, where it says that we should cast all our cares upon him and he will sustain us. Cast your burdens upon the Lord. So the first thing I do is just to pray, because I believe that without the strength of God, without the help of God, I'm nothing, and there is nothing I set my heart to do that will actually happen unless I'm connected to God. So it's kind of myself and the Holy Spirit throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year. It's just asking him, asking him for guidance and for direction, and also for giving me ideas on how to help the children and help the home front. Also have time for myself and for the business that I run on the side. My children, like I said, their age is from 12. So my eldest is in secondary school. And being a girl and being in secondary school, the need is so different from my younger ones. So it's just be able to to be able to plan, so I have a weekly plan, and I also have a daily plan, and I also have a day-to-day plan. So I think some of this I shared on my video sometimes ago on my YouTube channel. So the weekly plan, we plan together with the children, so they already know what to do in the morning, when to shower, what time to come downstairs for breakfast, and time we have to leave for school. And myself, and for my daughter as well, that goes on the train to school. She catches the train to school. So it's planning, really. Planning and being flexible with your plan. So if you've done it this week and it doesn't work, you can always review the plan and always just see what works, what you need to take out, what you need to leave, and what you need to improve on. Another thing I do is I have a shopping list, and it's stuck on the wall in my kitchen, and we all write on the shopping list. So my children write, I write. If my husband is around, he writes there as well. So we have that list for shopping. And I have a shopping day, which is Wednesday. That's the day I don't go to work. And the children know that if they don't write it by Wednesday morning, they'll have to wait for the next week before that thing gets done. But if anything comes up, maybe Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning, that maybe for school reasons or for something that is really, really urgent, and maybe we all forgot to write it on the list, I don't mind popping to the shops to do things like that. But definitely, if it has to do with groceries or anything, it has to be there by Wednesday morning. If it's not there Wednesday morning, it won't happen up until the following week. Another thing is getting your children involved. So my children, I put them on the rota. Obviously, the older two, not the toddler. I put them on the rota, who washes the dishes and who cleans the house, or like sweep the house. So they do it on alternate days. So whoever washes the dishes today will be sweeping tomorrow, that sort of thing. And they also wipe surfaces. Obviously, you still need to supervise. So it's not a case of go and do it. Even up to now, we still need to tell them, right, you missed that bit, could you go back and sweep? The dishes are not clean, could you go back to do them? And also they need to load the dishwasher and then maybe empty. But obviously sometimes when the dishes are not a lot, they just hand wash them. So putting them on the rota, that's another thing that helping them to getting them involved in cooking as well. So when I'm cooking in the kitchen, if it's for them to blend the tomatoes or to chop the vegetables or to wash the rice or to cook, I let them do it. So, or they are there with me doing it together. So everybody is involved. And I also make sure I have time for myself. So once we've done our devotions in the evening, maybe we've prayed together as a family, I send them to bed, and maybe by 8 o'clock, worst case scenario, they are all in bed. I know my daughter doesn't sleep because that's when she catches up on homework and all of those things, but I know she's on her own. But the boys should be sleeping or almost in bed, or even if they don't feel like sleeping, I just make sure they are in bed, like just don't come out of your bed. So, and I always say to them, this is my time. This is my time. So they respect the fact that, right, mommy needs that time for herself. So that's some of the things I do just to get myself off the overwhelm thing. And
Wow.
also, praying, most importantly, sometimes, I think I've also shared it on one of my videos, I have a secret place in the house, which is my toilet, because that's the only place even my toddler can't get into. He knows when mommy is in there, she needs time by herself. So I run in there sometimes, whisper 1 or 2 seconds prayer, I come out again. In my place of work, incidentally, the toilet is also my secret place. So it's clean, obviously. So I go there, whisper a prayer, maybe just God should just help me. Maybe there's a burden in my heart. So another thing is just have a secret place, have where you can connect with God all by yourself, where nobody is and nobody know. I mean, well, they know the place, but they can't distract you. Thank you.
Wow, wow, that's super helpful and enlightening. So much keynote lessons. I don't think I can actually summarize all you've said, but it's actually important that the children are carried along as they grow. That came
Mm,
in very strong for me because it will actually help you, help them, and help the family as well.
mm,
I like how there are boundaries.
mm,
Yes, I like how you have your own alone time, which is
mm,
actually very, very important because, especially in this generation, we tend to be
mm,
all busy with a lot of activities,
mm,
and mothers don't actually create that me time, which is actually
mm,
necessary for that
mm.
mental sanity, for
Yeah.
that connection with God as well,
Mm,
and for you to stay true to yourself and not get
mm,
lost in every other person's lives and activity.
mm,
So thank you so much for sharing. Um,
mm,
you spoke a lot about the children, so which
mm.
brings me to my question: how do you foster that relationship with them that helps them to stay open to you? Because as you mentioned, your videos and your channels, and yeah, Modern Cable listeners, please go to her YouTube channel, Desire Laroko, and subscribe immediately. She has a lot of helpful videos for you, and I'm 100% sure that you're going to learn something. So, those I had to share how she's able to get the children to open up to her, because I find that there's a gap now that
Mm.
children are not really able to open up to their parents for various reasons and challenges. And one way or the other, I know you've been able to overcome that limitation. So I would like you to share with our listeners how you're able to go about this.
Yeah, thank you very much. Another thing I forgot to mention when I was introducing myself is I also mentor young adults and youth. So youth, maybe secondary school up until some of them are working, and by God's grace, I still mentor them. So I did a series on teenage years or teenager on my channel, like the host rightly said. Please go and check it out. 7 videos. I invited about 2 or 3 moms to share their experiences, because sometimes if you don't have a teenage child, you don't really know what people with teenage children are actually going through. So the moms that I featured on my channel actually have one of them have 3 teenage children. One of the other one has 2 teenage children. I think those are the 2 that's picking up now. I can't remember if I have more there. Anyway, one thing you should do is, if you have children, please, I know if you have a child, that's fine. That one child is your favorite child. But if you have more than one child, please, do not have favorite children. They are going to make you want to have favorite children. There's a way the children will talk to you to say, "Oh, mom, but this child, or can I have something? How come this person asks for this thing?" You say yes, and if I ask, you say no. So try as much as possible, have the same boundaries for all of them, obviously age appropriate. Have the same love for all of them. I know it's difficult, especially if you have a super caring child and another child who's not as caring. But with the grace of God, with the help of God, you can like them and love them equally. So it's not the case of, oh, you're more lenient to the girl child because the girl child needs that affection, and to the boy child you're more stern, you're more strong, you're more manly. No, the boys also cry. It's okay for a boy or a man to cry. There's nothing wrong with it. If the tears are going to help them feel better, go for it. So don't treat your girl child and your boy child differently, and don't have favorites. Another thing is create that me time for them. Whenever my husband works outside of the UK, so most of the time I'm on my own, but I always say to them, when daddy's back, I'll have a one-to-one chat or time with you. So like recently when my husband came, I took my daughter out. We just had a girly date. I don't know if I'm going to do a video about it, but I'm still thinking. So obviously, it was a good time. It was something she was looking forward to. We went out together. We had a meal. We went for a walk. We went window shopping. We went real shopping. It was just a lovely, lovely, lovely time. And I said to my husband to have the same time with the boys so he can have that time with them. And they did. You know, the other day they went out for a walk together. And these things does not have to be expensive. In my own case, we went for a meal. The meal was not state of the art. It wasn't like the most expensive meal. No. Even if you don't want to go for a meal, just go out for a walk. Hold hands together. You know, even for my son, I hold hands, you know, with him. Don't let them feel, you can't touch them. No, they are your child. If they be uncomfortable, like my son, I always joke to say, I'm going to kiss you in front of your friends. And he said, no, mommy, that's embarrassing. So if they don't like it, that's fine. But no child will say, oh, don't walk with me. I hate you. I don't want you to walk with me. But I know some children can be very sensitive more than others. And if you are struggling, try and build that trust relationship. Perhaps you are the very shouty one. Perhaps you're the one that don't listen. Perhaps you're the one that maybe cuts them short immediately. Maybe when they ask a question, you're not very patient to answer. Please, you need to step down, because these children, if you don't answer their question, they are going to get that answers outside, and you won't be happy with the answers they're going to get. So if you and your child does not have a good relationship to start with, I'll suggest take a deep breath, look inwards, just listen to them. When they are talking, just listen to them. You don't have to always have an answer, just listen. And if they say, oh, mom, what do you think? Or dad, what do you think? Then you can talk, oh, this is what I'm thinking. And they will really appreciate it. The first few times you're trying it out, they might not appreciate you as much. But with time, they will see that, oh, my mom actually loves me. So even if you're going to scold them, if you're going to tell them off, if you're going to discipline them, they know that behind that scolding, you are such an amazing mom, or you are such an amazing dad. So that is very, very good. You need to build that relationship of trust, that they can trust you and you can trust them, and also relate to them, you know, like friends. When you need to put your feet down as a parent, then put your feet down as a parent. When you have to be friends with them, be friends with them. It's just that knowing that boundaries and knowing what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love how you spoke about boundaries and having equal and agency boundaries. Thank you so much. That's been super helpful. Because of our time, I'll just ask you one more question. For toddlers, that was spoken about teenagers, and I understand that teenage world is an entirely
different,
different one, and a big book on its own.
It is.
And I'm glad that you said you also mentor young adults and teenagers. So I'm sure that mothers who actually need this help should actually just reach out and get more detailed
absolutely
help and consultations. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for how you've shared thus far. So now, for mothers with toddlers, I would also like you to chip in something for them. What's your advice? 1 or 2 tips that can help them to be able to achieve the things they want to achieve while still caring for their toddler in the home?
Yes. So first thing is, you can't pour from an empty cup. No matter how strong you are, no matter the superwoman you are, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So your mental health is very, very important. In fact, if you look after your mental health, you'll be able to help your toddler more. Read books. Another thing that helped me with teenage years that I forgot to mention is I read a lot, even though it doesn't look like I have the time. But 5 pages, 10 pages, sometimes in a week, sometimes in a day, depending on how much time I have. For toddlers, they also need boundaries. So they also need the discipline. So when I had my eldest, then it used to be called the naughty step. But after a while, I thought about that word naughty step. And I thought, hang on a minute, I don't have naughty children. Even though they've done something naughty, don't name your child. Name the behavior. So don't say, you naughty child. Instead of saying, you naughty child, say, you've done something naughty. You've done something unacceptable. Don't name your child. Don't tag your child. Don't give your child or your children names that does not belong to them. Yes, they can be naughty. Yes, they can be selfish. Yes, they might be disobedient. But don't ever say, you disobedient child. Tell them, oh, Paul, you've done something that is very disobedient and I'm not happy. That means you've dissociated the child from what he has done. And when that child grows up, he or she won't say, oh, my mom always says I'm a disobedient child, or he always said I'm disobedient. It just reminds me of a story of a boy who the nanny always say, you're incorrigible, you're incorrigible. And when he met someone new, the lady asked her, could you introduce yourself? He said, oh, my name is, I think it was Peter, I can't remember. Oh, my name, let's say his name was Peter. And he said, oh, my name is Peter and I'm incorrigible boy. And then the lady said, no, you're not. And then the Peter stepped forward and said, oh, what does incorrigible mean? So this boy does not actually know what that word means, but because an adult who was supposed to look after this child has always said, you're incorrigible, you're such a stubborn boy. The boy has associated himself with that behavior. So as much as possible, please, moms and dads, don't tag your child. Don't give them those names because that is not their names. So what I thought about, instead of saying naughty step for my children, I call it thinking step or self-reflective step. So when I take my little toddler there, maybe he's done something that I shouldn't do, I just say, you are going to be here for 2 minutes to think. And another thing is, as parents, when you're upset, you might want to maybe smack the child or deprive the child of something or put the child down in a place for long. No, it's meant to be age appropriate. So if your child is 2 years old, that child must not sit on his own, maybe thinking for more than 2 minutes. If the child is 10 years old, not more than 10 minutes. Obviously, with a 10-year-old, you can do other things, not make the child sit on the step because that child will just feel, oh, this is free time for me. For a toddler, if it's 1-year-old, 1 minute. 2-year-old, 2 minutes. 3-year-old, 3 minutes. And once the child has come off the discipline, you can go to the child's eye level and tell the child, you sat on this step for 2 minutes because I asked you to do this and you refused. You tell the child to say sorry and then you can become friends again. Even if the child is crying and wailing, please don't give in to that. Just let that discipline take its toll. Another thing is educational resources as much as possible. Put it around the child. To be honest, what I found in my years of training children is that it's not the gadgets you buy for them. I see children go to the shops in the car. They don't have conversation with their parents. They just have this iPad and tablet, and people now use it as a form of competition that, oh, I've got the latest gadgets for my child. Oh, my child can do this. My child can do that. Please, moms and dads, our children need us. They need that time with us. They need us to be able to be there for them beyond the gadgets, beyond the devices. It is that time that they need. Go for a walk. I go for a walk a lot with my toddler. We play around a lot. We go for swings and slides. And if you don't want to go out, maybe because it's too cold or you don't have that opportunity, your house is enough. We do counting up and down the steps. Maybe when we are coming down the steps or walking up the steps, we do counting in the shower in the morning or afternoon, or evening, whenever it is. I do a bit of counting with him. We do colors. Maybe when we are going for walks, so that's a yellow car, that's a red car, that's a green car. Another thing we do is, as much as possible, the little bit he can do with zone fruits and vegetables, you can give him a bread knife just to cut them up. Another thing you can do is, tablets are also good. Download educational programs for them. Obviously, for me to be able to have time, maybe doing a podcast like I'm doing now, or I'm doing a video, and if my toddler is around me, I just give him the tablet to keep him quiet. So he's learning, and at the same time, I'm having my time. So we have to be, Somebody calls it iNanny, iPad iNanny, it gives you that time to do what you have to do. So I think that's just what I do with my toddler. And obviously, if the weather is good, we go out a lot. If the weather is not so good, we stay indoors, but I still keep him occupied.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your wealth of wisdom. And I like how you started answering this question. You can't pour out what you don't have. And all of this just summarizes it in the sense that we must actually take that active steps to ensure that we provide our children for the right training, give them the right boundaries, the right disciplines, the right resources to enable them to triumph and grow appropriately. Thank you so much. So do you have any final words for our mothers to encourage them not to be limited to the more? Yes.
Go ahead. Just the what?
I said to encourage them to be more, to encourage them not to be limited by their roles and activities, but to strive to achieve things for themselves as well.
Yes. So first thing I'm going to say is, if you're married, you need to be united with your husband, because I've found that most women have done a kind of catalog or biography of women who actually made a headway in life, married women. I noticed that somehow their husbands were the bedrock for them. So as much as possible, yes, you might be a high-flying woman, but be submissive and let your husband be your husband. Somebody said that the greatest need of a man is not sex, is not food, is actually respect. The more you respect your husband, the more you will get out of life, because you can attract what you don't like. I've forgotten how it says. You can't attract what you don't like, or you there's no way you can go forward when the home front is divided. And women, please look after your mental health. Very, very important. If somebody is offering you help, please take it. If somebody is willing to give you extra support, or to do shopping for you, or to just maybe take your child out for a few minutes, please accept it. If you're tired, let your children know you're tired. Let your husband know you're tired. Don't keep going, else you're going to break down. If you need a break from everything, tell the people around you, I just need this 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I need a break from everything. Just leave me alone. Let them know, so that you can be that woman that the Lord has made you to be. Because if you're not careful, you keep working and working and working, and at the end of the day, you are going to break down. And once you break down, it will be difficult for you to come back up again, because you've overworked your body. I always say to my children, I am not a machine. I need a break. I need a rest. So very, very important. Self-care is important. Look after yourself, eat healthily. I see a lot of people on social media eating a lot of junks and thinking is a sign of wealth. It's not. It's absolutely not. Eat healthily so that your body, like my husband always says, your body is your container. Look after your container, use the right product for your body as much as possible. Go natural, go organic for the things you use on your body, because that's what your skin can absorb. And also look after your environment as much as possible. If you need a cleaner, get a cleaner as long as you can afford it. If you need a chef, get a chef. Just look for things that can help you here and there. But most importantly, you are the one that can look after yourself. So please make that time. The time will never be enough, but find that time, make that time to look after yourself. And I pray that the Lord will help you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been an awesome time with you in the studio with Mother's Haven. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm sure our listeners is going to subscribe to the channel to be able to learn more and in details much more than we have touched here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode on Mother's Haven podcast. I believe you've had a life-changing and liberating experience. To connect with us or reach out for support, we got you. Kindly send us a DM on Instagram at Mother's Haven or on mothershaven.com. Also, kindly hit the subscribe button to catch every new episode of our validating and inspiring content. Do also leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.